Hello, Internet friend. Today on Value Side, move on. Trump. I'm David Ravel. Well, no one has shaped the public debate quite as well as Donald J. Trump. His ability to first identify people's wants and aspirations, and then tailor a solution to meet those hopes and fears, is second to none. He first demonstrated this unparalleled ability in his 2016 run for the presidency, and then repeated that feat in 2025. It's a remarkable achievement, often underestimated by his opponents. However, as formidable as this ability may be, the conflict in Iran is testing Trump's ability to continue to shape our national discourse. Like many leaders who have gained great influence, Trump has overstepped his authority, a fact that is becoming apparent to all, and in the end, this may prove politically fatal. Central to Trump's ability to mold public opinion has been his knack for changing the subject, shifting the focus to a new topic more favorable to his agenda. We saw this in his first campaign for the presidency. When Trump was first confronted with the specter of Jeffrey Epstein, he redirected the attention away from his relationship with Epstein and towards Bill Clinton's peccadillos. Hillary Clinton was his opponent, and by placing the women in Bill Clinton's controversy in a front row seat at a presidential debate, Trump moved our attention to the Clintons and away from Epstein. When Trump promised to complete the southern border wall along the entire boundary with Mexico, and then failed to do so, he changed the subject. Again, this worked in his favor. It was Trump who withdrew from the JCPOA, the agreement that required Iran not to pursue a nuclear weapon. But later Trump would claim that because Iran had no nuclear agreement, we should go to war. Again, Trump had deflected, calling the original agreement poorly constructed by President Obama because it did not include China and other countries. Today, Trump asserts that Iran has nuclear ambitions, and the United States must attack not once, but twice. Clearly, President Trump has moved on, failing to point out that he was the one who abrogated an existing agreement designed specifically to prevent just such a nuclear ambition by Iran. Again, Trump relies on the American people's short memory. But this time, unlike in the past, Trump's fabulous ability to change the subject is not working. Somehow, his magic is fading. Perhaps it's because he has so egregiously overstepped his constitutional authority as president. He alone started the Iranian conflict. For the very first time in our history, a president committed United States troops to battle without consulting the American Congress. Before, presidents have come before Congress to consult on the initiation of hostilities. After all, as a representative democracy, Congress holds the constitutional authority to declare war. And while a president may act to counter an immediate threat from a hostile nation, traditionally, presidents first consult with the representatives of the people. However, President Trump acted alone, without seeking the advice and consent of the other co-equal branch of government. Making his actions even more questionable is the reality that Iran may not have threatened the United States at all. At least Trump has not provided sufficient evidence to reach that conclusion. Taken together, a picture of President Trump begins to emerge. It's of a man who likes to act alone, not seeking the consent of others, and not bothering to use the many methods past presidents have used to consult with Congress. He's a man who likes to tell a good story, to paint the very best versions of his initiatives and accomplishments. Thus, we are told from the very beginning that America is winning this war, that Iran is completely obliterated with no army, navy, or especially no offensive missiles. And yet, day after day, Iran continues to hammer U.S. and Israeli military assets across the theater of war. Finally, if Donald Trump's past is prologue, and it is, then we can expect to see the president change the subject. America's setbacks will be turned into American victories. For the American people, this may become a significant tool in the propaganda battles. It will take much research and internet review to find out what's really happening in Iran. We may need to circumvent traditional news sources to find the real truth. Unfortunately, there are a growing number of events that have been described one way by the Trump administration, but in the unfolding of the war have come into question. Here are a few of those questionable events. Was the bombing of the girls' school in Manab an accident, or something much more sinister? Is it true that a second missile strike struck the school after parents rushed to the site? Did a faulty laundry facility really cause the fire on the USS Gerald Ford? Or was it, as the Iranians claim, a drone strike from the IRCG? Has the United States lost most of its high-valued fixed radar sites in the Gulf? And as a consequence, are our forces operating with limited ability to see incoming Iranian missiles? Has the U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet headquarters essentially been destroyed, the result of hostile missile fire? Is it true that U.S. forces have suffered fewer than 20 KIA, or is the number much larger? And we could go on and on. You may have as many questions about this war as I do. But one thing is apparent. It's time for President Donald J. Trump to stop trying to spin a story. The American public is rapidly tiring of his mantra of, quote, "We're the greatest military ever. This war is won," or "Nothing to see here, move on." To use the president's comment, we can feel it in our bones. We know that we're in for the fight of our lifetime. Many of our fellow citizens may in fact lose their lives, and much of our national fortune is likely to be spent. But why? This weekend, millions of Americans took to the streets to ask that simple question. Why are we fighting with Iran? We don't need to be told that our troops are the best. We already know that. We don't need to be told that we're winning every single battle. We don't believe that. We need to hear the simple, unvarnished truth, Mr. President. Why did you take us to war? And that's today's Value Side. For all of our podcasts and articles, visit valueside.com. I'm David Ravel. Value Side is independently written and researched. The views expressed are strictly my own.